What's up, internet people? Back again with another video. So this one ought to be pretty useful to a lot of people. What I'm gonna do is show everybody how to do a quick Windows PC cleanup slash tune-up. I'm gonna walk through all the steps that I use to do quick cleanups and tune-ups on my PC. I thought this would be a useful video to people who, they own a PC. I get, calls all the time about people PC running slow and they don't know what to do. So this video is going to be to help those people who don't know maybe all the steps that they can use, all the tools they can use to help speed up their PC and keep it kind of clean. So I'm gonna just walk everybody through all my little steps that I use to clean up PCs on the quick side. This is gonna be just a quick tune-up, clean-up type deal. All right, well, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? And so the first thing I like to do when I jump on a PC to start cleaning, usually the first thing I do is empty the temporary files folder. So if you press the Windows key and R, you'll get this little window right here, run. And what you want to type in there is temp, T-E-M-P, hit enter, and it didn't show up on that screen, but I'll just bring it up here. So this is the Windows temporary folder, and this folder holds all the little temporary download files, temporary saved files that prop up on your system from different activities that you're doing, different programs you use, and so on and so forth. And what I usually like to do is, mine is already pretty clean. As you can see, everything is from 2019, but sometimes people have folders and files in here from 2008 and 7, right? So what I usually do is hit date modified to organize everything by date, and I'll go down to the bottom, click, drag it all the way up into the current month, and right now it's July 25th. My temporary folder is pretty clean, so I really don't have to delete anything, but it won't hurt if I did. So let's just say, boom, I'm gonna hit delete. All that's gonna go to the recycling bin. You might get a pop-up that tells you that some of the files are in use, so you can't delete them. Just click this box, do this for all current items, and skip. And it's gonna delete all of those temporary folders. And it's done. We can close this window. Now, I must say, I don't do this all the time, but let me just give you a disclaimer, I guess, of sorts. Before you start messing around on your computer, if you really don't know what you're doing, it's always wise to create a restore point. Just in case something happens, you mess something up, you can just restore the computer back to the state it was before you started messing around, and it won't you won't destroy anything. So let me show you how to do that here. So we'll go to the search bar and we'll click there, and we will type in restore point, or actually let's do create. Look at that right there on top. Click it. This dialog box gonna open up. Configure restore settings, manage disk space, and delete restore points. Create restore point right now for the drives that have system protection turned on. So you just click create, boom. Type a description to help you identify a restore point. So I would put system before changes and hit create. System protection will create the restore point successfully created. Click close, and now you can you can do your thing without worrying too much about deleting something you want to keep or something important or whatever. So we've done that. We go to the temporary folder. We clear that up. The next thing I usually do is hit your Windows key and R again. Your window will come up. Type in msconfig, hit enter. This window will come up, and a lot of time people got all kinds of programs that were installed on their system, and many times when you install a program, there's a little checkbox that asks you, do you want to start this program every time you open Windows? And people usually just click through on the installer or don't pay attention to it, and it sets it to start it every time you start Windows. So if you got 15 programs that all want to start up as soon as Windows starts, guess what? It's going to make Windows start slower. So you want to minimize those programs as much as possible so that your Windows will start up faster. So this is what I'm showing you right now. So we're going to go to Startup. Oh, am I on the wrong screen now? Go to Startup. So on Windows 10, and depends on what version, Windows 10 Home, I think Enterprise will have it right in here, but it'll send you to the Task Manager. So you click that, it'll open Task Manager. In the Startup tab on Task Manager, you'll see all of the programs right here that may want to be starting up as soon as Windows starts. So what you want to do is just go through here and see if there's anything you can turn off. So I got Windows Security Notification Icon, which I don't really need, but I'm pretty fast. I got SSD, so I don't have to turn that off. Now I got some sound equipment and recording stuff that I got that's enabled to start up. I can Apple Push. I don't even use, so we'll right click this one. We'll go disable, and that'll disable that from startup. Apple Updater Utility, we're gonna disable that. Adobe GC Invoker, this is for Adobe, we don't need that. Collaboration Synchronizer, we don't need that. Creative Cloud, I mean, we don't need it to start when Windows starts. And all of these programs that you turn off from starting when Windows starts, when you click the icon, they'll start up. So it's not gonna be a big deal. You don't have to worry about if you're turning them off and you won't be able to use them. So okay, we turned off all of these, and that'll be good enough for us. They're all disabled. So we will close that window. Okay, so now we have shut down some startup items that were starting as soon as Windows started, and we have cleaned the temporary folder, and at first we created a restore point. So what do we have to do next? Now we will clean browser cookies. So go back to the search bar. And by the way, if you don't have this search bar set on your taskbar here, you can always just hit the Windows key and start typing, and the search bar will pop up when you start typing. You may not see it just from hitting the Windows key, but once you start typing, you're in there. And we're going to clear browser cookies. So for Internet Explorer, if anybody still uses that, you want to type in Internet Options. When you get into Internet Options, what you want to do is then you want to go delete browser history on exit. So I usually have this checked. And what this does is whenever you open a window and you go to a web page, whenever you open a browser window, you go to a web page, you go to another web page, you go to another web page. All of the history of the web pages you go to are saved. They're cached in a temporary folder. If you click this button, when you close the window, it'll delete the history. So all of that history is not getting saved, bogging down your system eventually. So that's always good to click that, then go here, click delete, and another window will pop up, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to delete? And preserve favorite websites data. I would delete it. Temporary internet files and websites. This is the most important one you want to delete. Cookies and website data, delete. So have it clicked. History, you want that deleted. Have it checked. Download history. It depends. You might want it deleted if you're not gonna use it. Form data. Now this depends on you. You know how when you go on a website and there's a form there and you start typing, Windows will finish what you're typing. It's already saved your name and your address, and all you have to do is start typing it and it'll fill out the form. Well, that stuff is saved and cached as well. If you want to delete that, just click here and it will be deleted, and you will just have to manually type in everything you want to type from there on out in the forms. Passwords, same thing as the data. Passwords, you know how you save your password to a website that you go to, and when you go back to log in, the password is there. You just have to hit enter. Well, this deletes that, so you would have to manually retype that in after this. And this is tracking protection, ActiveX filtering, and do not track. I usually delete these every time I run it. So then we'll click delete. It'll start deleting, and it's deleted. Before we close this window, we have to click apply so that setting right there will go, and we'll click OK. Now that is just for Internet Explorer. If you use Firefox or Google Chrome, you'll have to delete those from within the web page themselves. So we'll open up a Chrome window here. You can see, no, this is Firefox. So if we want to delete the history and the cookies and all that from Firefox, we just hit these three lines here. Boom. Then we want to go down to options. Boom. Privacy and security. Click that. And then cookies and site data. So what you would do if you want to delete cookies and site data when Firefox closed, like I mentioned in Explorer, Firefox does the same thing. When you close the window, the history that you were using in that window is deleted. You click here, boom. If you want to clear data, you click here. Same thing, window will pop up. It'll ask you what do you want to delete. You can delete the cookies, you can delete the cached web content, and you want to say clear now, and it'll do it for you. Similar on Google Chrome, you go to the corner, hit the three lines, go down to options or settings, and find the logins and cookies and delete them. So it's really simple, and we will close that. Okay, so now that we've cleared browser cookies, the next thing I would do to help with cleaning up the system is get rid of old programs that you no longer use, that you installed or accidentally installed or were installed when you got your system and you never even use them. What we'll do then is we'll go to the Windows icon here, or we'll hit the Windows key on the keyboard. Then we'll type add, remove, click there. The add and remove features window will open. And it'll look like this. And here's a list of all the programs that are installed on your PC. And what you want to do is just go through here and look for programs that you don't even use that are just installed on your system. Now, anything that says Microsoft, don't delete those. Leave them. You want to delete apps and programs like stuff that you would have installed or that would have came installed on the system that you no longer use. Like say you never use sticky notes. Well, you don't need it. It's taking up 16 kilobytes of space on your hard drive. You can click it, click uninstall, it'll be gone. Tips, Microsoft Corporation, you don't need tips unless you do want tips, but you can always get tips from me. And you just click uninstall. And you just go down and do the same thing with whatever else you got. Xbox game console, if you don't play games on your computer, click uninstall. So after you've done that, you can click X out of there. Then we will run another program, run a disk cleanup program. This is gonna help you delete some of the stuff on your hard drive. So then we'll type in disk cleanup. This is it here. You'll click this cleanup, and it'll show you your drives that you have that it can check for junk. I wouldn't do it with any other drive. Just stick with your main C drive. This is the one that Windows is on. So we'll click C. We'll press OK. It'll start calculating the data that it could potentially recover for you. And it could take quite a while depending on what system you have. If you got a slow system, if it does have a lot of stuff that's just extra on there, if your hard drive's over halfway full, it could take a while to calculate all that. So just be patient. You'll see a bar going across. If you've got a really old, slow system, you may as well go make a sandwich or something, because it's going to be a while. When it finally does, this window will pop up here. And what you want to do is start looking through this box here at stuff you can delete. So, and you want to check the stuff you want to delete. Downloaded program files, if there's anything there, you can always check that box. Temporary internet files, if there's anything there, you can check that box. You want that box checked. Windows error reports, you don't need, check that box. DirectX shader cache. Now, I won't delete this. You probably won't even have DirectX on your PC. Delivery optimization files, you don't need. This is files that are saved when you download apps and updates. So click that. Downloads, everything that's in your downloads folder that you've downloaded over time and over the years, you can click that. Now, this option is not in Windows 7, and I usually just go straight to the downloads folder and delete it. But it's in here, so we get to do that. Everything that's in your recycling bin, you want to, and actually, I'm not going to delete my downloads folder because there's stuff there I want, but you'd want to delete yours. Recycling bin, done. Temporary files, you want to delete those, and thumbnails you don't need, you're going to delete those. Now, obviously, I didn't have much junk on my system. All I'm going to be able to get back is 136 MB. But there's other system files you can clean up as well. And if you click this clean up system files, say C again, as you can see, there's that calculating. And it'll bring up some more system files. Now, these are Windows upgrade files. And if you started out with Windows 7 and you upgraded to Windows 10, these are some stored files that the Windows update stored on your computer for use while it was installing and stuff. You don't need these anymore. You can click that. They usually have your restore points, and they'll usually allow you to delete all but the most recent restore point. I don't see it in here. Maybe it's in the more options, programs and features. Yeah, it'll be in there. System restore and shadow copies. Okay, they just separated it in Windows 10. In Windows 7, it's all in the same window. So what we're gonna do is we got everything we want clicked. It shows us how much disk space we're gonna get back. Once we do that, click OK. Are you sure you want to permanently delete? Say yes, and it'll do its thing. Now, like I said, if you've got a slow system or an old system, not much RAM, not a big hard drive, that operation is going to take quite a while. So you might as well go off, make a sandwich, check your Facebook or whatever you check, so Instagram, and come back later. When you come back, the window will be gone. You'll be all good. The next step is to run a virus scan or a malware scan. Now, whatever malware or virus protection you have on your computer, now's the time to run those files. So if you've got Malwarebytes, if you've got AVG, if you've got whoever, run your security programs, run your antivirus, run your anti-malware, all of that. If it finds anything, delete them, clean them, quarantine them, whatever you got to do. And then the final thing, and you only do this if you've got an actual spinning disk drive. This is not recommended for SSD drives. Then you can do a disk defragmentation, and what you want to do is type defragment and optimize drives. Click it. It's going to be the C drive. That's your main drive. It's a solid state drive, as you can see, so I will not be optimizing or defragging it. But let's see, I think I've got I've got an actual disk drive. Click analyze. It will analyze the disk. This operation could take a little bit too, depending on what system you have. And it'll tell you, once the analysis is done, it will tell you how defragmented your drive is, and if you run a defrag, if you optimize it, how it will clean it up for you. And once you do that, you just click optimize or defrag, and it will start that operation. And depending on how fragmented your drive was, that operation can take quite a long time. Depending on your system, you might be noticing a theme here. A lot of things on a PC, especially when it comes to troubleshooting and fixing problems, can take quite a long time. And actually, malware and virus removal is probably the most time consuming, other than installs not so much these days, but you get my point. So anyway, you do that, boom, close. Now this is just a quick cleanup. There's obviously other things you can do, other tweaks you can do to Windows to make it run more efficiently. But this was just a quick PC tune-up, cleanup for the lay person. And after you've done all that, then you want to restart your system. So go to Windows button, or press the Windows button key on your thing. Restart your system. When it comes back, you should be able to see a noticeable difference in performance and with window opening in general. And with that, I will bring this video to a close. I hope this will be helpful to some people who may not be so internet or computer savvy. Maybe this little tutorial here can help some people out. I think that would be wonderful. And I will see you next time. As you can see, I got my little blue screen of death t-shirt on. And if you want to know where it's a little funny little t-shirt. If you want to know where I got it from, I'll put a link in the description where you can go and get a shirt like this. And they got other shirts. You can see what other shirts you might like on there. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks for chopping it up with me. Thanks for listening. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and I will be back with more how-tos and tutorials and tricks and tips of the trade. Until next time, take it easy.